Hi, I'm Charlotte, and this is Chatting with Charlotte, where I share conversations, life hacks, and inspirations to help you on your healing journey from childhood trauma. So, the last two videos that I've done have been about story, and I thought of another aspect of telling your story the last few days, and I thought I would share another video about stories from the perspective of how do I know if I'm making a difference by telling my story? Or, put it another way, why should I tell my story? So, over the last couple of days, things have kind of picked up in the retirement community that I live in, and we've started having activities again, which has been great for the morale here. And we've got a new manager, and she's just very involved with the residents and very active with us and trying to really regenerate the sense of community that we kind of lost over the last year with COVID. And as a process of that, I've been really able to reconnect with some of my friends in ways that I hadn't for the past year. And so Wednesday, we were sitting at breakfast and we were having a conversation, and I was sharing a little bit about my upcoming book release because I'm very excited about it. And it's kind of like I can't really talk about much else, which I think sometimes may get annoying to some people, but it is where I'm at right now. And it made me think, as I was kind of reviewing the conversation, a really dear friend of mine, her name is Roseanne, and she's made comments on some of my videos, and she's a very, very dear friend that lives here, and she gets very emotional when she sees my videos, when she reads my blogs, when she hears bits and pieces of my story. And she apologizes for being emotional. And so yesterday or Wednesday when we were talking, I told her, I said, don't apologize, because when you show that kind of response and you share the emotion and you are empathetic with me, it lets me know that the way that I'm sharing my story is impactful. Not that I want her to be crying, that's not the intent, but my intent is for people who either hear my story or read my story to really be able to understand what I'm trying to say. Not just the pain, but to know the pain that I experienced as a child. And then because they know me now, they know the good ending. And another friend of mine, Carla, who I've done joint live streams with a couple of times, I shared that with her as well. And she was a beta reader for me. And one of her comments was that what helped her get through the bad parts of my story was that she saw me now and she knew there was a good ending. And so those two stories, I think, help me explain why it's important to tell your story, but also sometimes, you want to share it to some degree, as I've talked about previously, while you're going through it, because it'll help other people you can be mutually supportive to other people that are experience the same thing. But it's also important to share your story when you're at a place of contentment, when you've gotten to a place where everything is not always in chaos and you're not constantly being triggered. Because if you can share your story at that stage, then you really can give hope to people who are coming behind you. And because they see, okay, she went through this and she's really okay. Because, it's sometimes there's a tendency or an assumption that once you get through the healing process, that perhaps you should never talk about what happened to you because it's kind of going backwards. But it's really not. As long as when you share it, you're sharing the victories, as I talked about in my last video, and you're sharing the new you, the you that's healed and is still struggles at times, but that it's not a constant, every day, every moment experience. And I just think that's so, so important as survivors, that we share when we're thriving, because then those that are behind us that are not quite there yet can see that and they can be encouraged. So I just wanted to share that little bit with you today, and I hope it was encouraging to you. My pre-launch special ends today. I've put the link in the description, and I hope that you will pre-order an early signed copy of my book, and please subscribe and share your comments about your experience with sharing your story. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.